Breaking news inside the Morning Combat Studios, and it comes from the pen of ESPN's Brett Okamoto speaking to UFC President Dana White. And it looks like it's about to go down in the lightweight division, Cinco de Mayo weekend. No location determined at this moment, but what we do know, lightweight champion Charles Oliveira will defend his title for the second time against the highlight Justin Gaethje. And when you react to this, and of course, you know me as Brian Campbell, co-host here of Morning Combat, my reaction is going to be fireworks. This is as purely violent and fun of a UFC main event as you can make. And you add in the title fight in this deep lightweight division and the title reign that Charles Oliveira has put together in the post Khabib Nurmagomedov retirement, from finishing Michael Chandler for the title to finishing Dustin Poirier even more dominantly. Now to welcome somebody as dangerous as Justin Gaethje, as deserving, who himself, of course, got the final shot at Khabib Nurmagomedov, coming up empty. Did he have a couple moments? Did he have a good game plan? It didn't matter in the end when he was submitted, but he's worked his way back to the top, had a hellacious victory himself over Michael Chandler in their fight of the year-ish shootout. And now I believe rightfully he'll get his second chance at the 155-pound crown. Look, as violent a fight as you can make, as potentially exciting without question. Oliveira, the most finishes in UFC history, most submissions, and really finding out in his early 30s how dangerous, how great could he be. He's got to take on a lot of damage in Charles Oliveira to pull off these type of highlight reel victories, but he's willing. Will it be a long run on top, or will it be a short and spectacular one? You have to believe he's going to be taxed to the nth degree against somebody like Gaethje, who you really got to give so much credit for the turnaround under coach Trevor Whitman, the ability to just make some alterations to his caveman, impressively violent style and be just a little bit more calculated. Whose time is it in the lightweight division? It's really interesting to know. I think first off, as a purist in terms of UFC matchmaking and the relevancy of things like rankings or a title, this tells you this is not the direction Conor McGregor is going. And it could have been. It could have just as easily been Charles Oliveira defending against Conor McGregor, despite McGregor having come off consecutive defeats and an injury to Dustin Poirier, because given his marketability, that stuff can happen. But to see UFC look at the meritocracy, for whatever it's worth, of their rankings and say, no, Gaethje's got next. He's the most deserving. Yes, Islam Makhachev is coming. Yes, this is a loaded division, even with the exits of people like Nurmagomedov and, Conor McGregor and Tony Ferguson, who aren't fully gone, but just recently were right atop of this division and now look to be a bit on the outside looking in. This will be a pivotal matchup to find out really who's in the power seat moving forward at 155. No date to be determined what I mentioned there from Brett Okamoto, but UFC 274 will be the pay-per-view. According to Dana White, it's looking as if the fight could be targeted for the US. That's the leading candidate. The reason why that's important is, could this have been a Brazil homecoming title defense for Charles Oliveira? It will not be. I'm also seeing reports from Aaron Bronstetter of TSN that UFC might be going away from Brazil altogether with the Glover Teixeira headline card that was considered there for the next couple months. So interesting to see what plays out in Brazil. But in the meantime, what is, May 7th for when this date is targeted? Cinco de Mayo weekend, the busiest weekend in sports when you consider Kentucky Derby, NHL and NBA playoffs in full bloom. You typically get a Red Sox Yankees type big time MLB series going on. And then, of course, you typically get the biggest boxing fight of the year on this same night. It's no secret to anybody that pound for pound king in boxing, Canelo Alvarez, looking for a return at this weekend. Vegas for him usually. Could it be Jamal Charlo? We'll have to wait and see from a boxing standpoint. But it's UFC pulling no punches, going head to head on a very, very loaded and impressive weekend, as it normally is for sports, and to see both sides of the combat sports playing, really try to put their best foot forward. It's exciting times. What can we expect here? At the end of the day, it could be who finishes each other's first. You like Charles Oliveira's advancement and growth, not just in leveling out his striking to put it on the same level of danger, or at least close to what he can do on the ground as a submission expert. But you really look back at his title defense, the only one he's had so far in his reign against Dustin Poirier, in which he was able to take Poirier to the ground and then really maul him, lay on top of him, disrupt his breathing, to almost fight, not dirty, but fight aggressive. And this is a Charles Oliveira that's fully confident. And I think it's going to be hard for somebody as talented as Justin Gaethje to not. Here's the guy, I see him wearing a title belt before his career is over. Is this his last time, or is this just his second chance at the title? Can he get over the top against Oliveira? You have to like how this matchup breaks down, because Gaethje is such a bruising power striker with the leg kicks and his ability to get inside and club on you. Yes, there's one punch knockout power there, but he's looking to break you down, while Oliveira looking for you to make that one big mistake to get the finish. Definitely the kind of fight you would take the under in terms of the proposal of rounds, but big time business right here in terms of which direction the UFC is going and what we can expect during the first half of this year. I think you can probably expect McGregor back most likely around International Fight Week time, but obviously this matchup gives a little bit more clarity in the direction that McGregor may be going, whether it is yet another fight with Dustin Poirier, a trilogy with Nate Diaz, some type of celebrity matchup. Luckily, rightfully, it won't be for the 155-pound title as we settle in for this one. What a year last year, 2021 for the UFC. What a year it's starting out to be, whether or not big time names like Francis Ngannou, who just fought and defended his heavyweight title, end up back in there again due to things like injuries, contract disputes. At the end of the day, the show must go on in the UFC, and that is making big, ridiculous, can't wait, must see title fights like this. Charles Oliveira could have been your fighter of the year last year, coming up just empty to Kamaru Usman on most ballots, but he's in position. He's swinging big. He's going for it. Don't sleep on this one. It goes down May 7th. We'll find out more information as it comes by, but UFC 274 has a real banger atop the card. And this was Brian Campbell, one half of your morning combat duo alongside the great Luke Thomas, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, live 11 a.m. Eastern on YouTube, brought to you by CBS Sports and Showtime. Always, of course, hitting you up. The biggest news, the biggest reactions, the biggest fight previews, reviews, the biggest interviews. It doesn't get any bigger than your award-winning morning combat show, but you better believe we'll be ahead of the schedule. Where will MK land the first weekend of May? What will be the biggest fight of that evening? As things stand right now, it's going to be hard to beat. Oliveira versus Gaethje. Buckle up. It's going to be a fun spring.